Have you ever wondered how great a situation would be if end consumer is included or have more active participation in the balancing of supply and demand electricity system? This would mean that not only the generation side can tag a price for electricity provision, but also the demand that the end consumers such as you and me can as well dictate the manner that this scarce electricity be allocated. Have you ever thought of an electricity market that is designed at the onset of designed to function at the onset of the power interruption? This would mean that the end consumers with the highest willingness to pay will be first afforded with the needed electricity during that scarce situation. This we can reckon that the end consumers with high regard on the continuous provision of electricity will be prioritized. Thus, we could say that, for example, a hospital can have a higher willingness to pay than a residential consumer that can tolerate power interruption to some extent. The willingness to pay is strongly affected or strongly dictated by the economic situation of the end consumer in question, as well as the frequency of power outages that is occurring in that location. Together as well with the time of day, the day of the week, and the season of the year that these power outages are occurring. The technical term for the willingness to pay to avoid power outage is the value of lost load, or we call it VOL. VOL is used in many countries in many different manners. Some markets are using it as a price cap, while others use it as a part of the formula to compute capacity payment. Most markets are using VOL in annualized form. It is estimated through proxy method or production function approach that utilizes macroeconomic information. In most developed countries, end consumers are compensated by the power interruption they experience, while in most developing countries, power interruption is incorporated in the performance of the utilities that will determine the tariff the level of tariff that they can place on electricity. In this, we could say that in both worlds, developed and developing countries, the scheme is top-down regulation, and there is no market yet ever developed or designed and implemented that will efficiently allocate this scarce electricity. Hence, this is the focus of my study, that I will develop a framework that will integrate willingness to pay with reliability planning. This framework will guide the trajectory of capacity expansion, grid interconnection, renewable energy integration in the midst of challenges of liberalization and climate change. This hopefully will ensure that any interventions done are within the social capacity and willingness to pay of the end consumers.